Do you feel there's certain things in life you want, but you just aren't getting? Are you feeling jealous of other people's success and you want to know what they have that you don't? Do you feel you're missing just one piece of information that if you get that, it could put everything together for you? Would you believe me if I told you there's 4 books that most certainly has the answer to whatever you're looking to get handled? This is Jeffy coming at you from my apartment in Budapest, and today I want to talk to you about the 4 books that I read on repeat that may have the answers that you're looking for. These 4 books may just change your life. These books cover a range of topics, so when I list them, there's going to be 1 or 2 that you resonate with more than the others. So start with those. But to be honest, I've read thousands of books, and I feel these 4 books I just keep coming back to again and again. I'm going to list these books now for you, and then I'm going to go in depth so you can decide which one you want to start with. Here they are, the top 4 books that will change your life to be whatever you want it to be. Now for this I have footage from when I was in Canada because now that I'm in Budapest I knew I wouldn't be able to bring them, but here they are. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, How to Make Money by Felix Dennis, The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, and Relentless by Timothy S. Grover. Again, these are the best books ever. And each one covers a different strength that you're going to need to succeed in life. So let's get into it, and let's take a look at what you're going to find inside of each one. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. If you know me, you know that I talk about this book a lot. It's probably incredibly annoying, and one of my most popular videos on this channel is actually a summary of my favorite quotes from this book. Now, this book was written by Marcus Aurelius, who is a Stoic philosopher, one of the big 3 Stoic philosophers, and when he wrote this book, he was the Emperor of Rome. This book was written as notes to the emperor himself, so it's pretty much his personal diary, and one thing I joked around about in my video was that it was the equivalent of someone finding Obama's diary after he had died or passed away, and people freaked the fuck out about it for some reason. But this is the equivalent of the most powerful nation of the time, Rome. So America today is the equivalent of finding, say, Donald Trump's diary, and instead of just having fake news written in blood thousands upon thousands of times, it actually has lessons to the Trump himself about how to live a good life, how to be patient with other people, how to avoid procrastination, things like that. Here's what you'll find in this book. You'll hear about ways to not procrastinate, the importance of helping others without expecting anything in return, not judging other people, not seeking fame or the adoration of others, that as long as you're living your life properly, that's enough. You don't really need to do anything else. You don't need anyone else to give you props for doing the right thing. Not clinging to life in a cowardly way, being ready to die whenever your time comes. Realizing we are put on this world to serve other people. It discusses how the universe works in a certain way and that everything that happens to you, good or bad, was meant to happen to you. It talks about living a good life. It talks about how you shouldn't be attached to material possessions. It talks about just being the best person you can be, how you know what you need to do, and you just aren't doing it for whatever reason. It gives you a good perspective on what we need to do and how you need to detach and let go of the ego in a sense. Now, it's all great, fantastic information in this book, but it's even better because it's written by the most powerful man in the world at the time. It gives astounding insight on how to live properly. It talks about all the lessons he learned from all of his teachers and mentors throughout life, and how to deal with things that happen to you so you don't feel harmed or go into a victim mindset about it. Who should read this book? If you find you are depressed regularly or you have negative thoughts all the time, this book is for you. This is one of my favorite books ever written, and I would highly recommend it to anyone. Alright, the next book up is The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. This is one of the ones I brought with me to Budapest. This book is for anyone who endeavors to do anything extraordinary in their life. Whether it be to start an entrepreneurial endeavor, get in shape, get a six-pack, volunteer for charity, or become more of an artist. Whatever it is that you want to accomplish in life, and this book discusses the main force that is going to stop you from doing this. This force is called resistance, and it will attack you in any way that it can. It comes in the form of procrastination and self-doubt. Whenever you're not feeling in the mood and you're going to do it tomorrow instead of today. The first part of this book covers all the ways that resistance will attack you and prevent you from accomplishing your mission. But then the second part of this book covers all the ways you can overcome it. By considering yourself as a professional, not an amateur. An amateur shows up when they feel like it. A pro works for pay. If you go to a job, you don't show up late. You go there whether you feel like it or not, and you put in the work. If you have an artistic endeavor you're trying to pursue, you have to treat it like a full-time job. You have to put it in the schedule, and you have to show up. This book is good to read and reread over and over again because it reminds you, time and time again, that whenever you're slipping up, whenever you're not doing what you need to do, you're actually being defeated by resistance. So it's good to reread this book over and over so it's top of mind. Resistance is not something that you beat once and then you're like, oh, I've defeated resistance. It's something that attacks you every single day and you have to beat it every single day. There's never a time when you're like, okay, I've accomplished this goal, like now I will just continue accomplishing goals. It's a habit that you get into, but you have to defeat it. If you defeat it one day, it makes it easier to defeat the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And then you can slip up, you can get beat by it, but it's important that you fight this battle every single day. Now with this video I'm filming right now, I was beat by resistance the other day because my roommate slept in, so I didn't get a chance to be in the living room, or my roommates are home and I didn't get to film the video, whereas that's actually resistance because they could sit on the couch behind me and they could just listen to me do it, but I'm scared, so I succumbed to resistance while filming this very video, talking about not doing that. Now, one of the things that is good about this book that it covers is that every single person falls into resistance. Everyone is attacked by it. There's even an argument to be made in the book that Hitler found it easier for him to start World War II and have a Holocaust going than it was to become a painter, because he originally wanted to become a painter, but you never really see any of his paintings because resistance beat him, and it was easier for him to start World War II than it was for him to just sit down and paint a picture. Yeah, one of the best parts of the book is it kind of lets you know that this is a force that affects everyone, and you're not alone, and that you're going to get beat by it every once in a while, but as long as we recognize that it's an issue, you can beat it, and you can beat it every day as you put in work towards that. Become a professional. Treat your hobby, your mission, who you were meant to be, treat it as a full-time job. The third book on the list that you need to read over and over is called How to Make Money by Felix Dennis. This book used to be called The Narrow Road, but I guess in order to talk to people's lower mental frequency, they changed the name to just How to Make Money. I actually prefer the original name, The Narrow Road, because it sounds like more of a honorable it sounds like more of an honorable intentioned journey, but overall the book is still phenomenal. This book was written by a man named Felix Dennis, who was the owner of Maxim. He was a businessman, and he was worth, by the time he died, he was worth an estimated 500 million pounds, which, if you take into consideration like exchange rates, inflation, blah blah blah, he was pretty well a billionaire by the time he died. So he is very qualified to teach you about the getting of money because he got a lot of it. Now, the book covers a lot of the things you're going to want on your pursuit of getting wealth. One of the things that he discusses is, right at the start, it's good to consider your motives for why you want to get rich. That way you know if times get tough, you're like, why am I doing this? What do I want? Why do I want so much money that I don't even know what to do with it? It discusses those who don't pursue wealth are doing so out of fear and not out of that they don't need it, that they don't blah blah blah. It's because they're afraid. They're afraid to go on the path to wealth. They're afraid of what people think, and they're afraid of being humiliated time and time again, which is often what it takes if you want to get extremely wealthy. That although luck plays a role, you shouldn't try to find it. Wealth does not come to those who wish for it, or need it, or deserve it. Wealth comes only to those who are determined to pay whatever cost to those and those around them to get it. It sounds intense, but this is not an easy endeavor. It's very difficult, a lot of hardships in order to get money. In order to do anything worthwhile, it's going to be absurdly difficult. And my favorite snippet from the book is this. The getting of money is a silly game, but it's a game with serious rules. Even though it's kind of dumb to just try and get really rich, there is still very serious rules in place in order for you to do it. And the path of the narrow road is going to take a level of discipline and hardship that is counter to what most people would consider a fulfilled life. Felix talks about this narrow road. The narrow road is the path to wealth, and if you fall off of it and you go far enough down the trail, then you won't be able to find your way back. It's a narrow road, not many people take it. So if you lose your way, you may not find it again. Who should read this book? Anyone who's involved with business in any way. Whether you want to build a big corporation or whether you want to just run a small family-run business, there's a ton of insights in here for you. It's for anyone who has a weird need that they have to get rich. Much like The War of Art, this book, all the principles can be applied to every different endeavor. It's sort of a bunch of universal truths that are going to change your life for the better. Finally, our final book that we have on our list of things you need to read, reread, read again, over and over until the day you die, every single year, is Relentless by Timothy S. Grover. This book is written by the personal trainer of many, many great athletes. He was the trainer for Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade. He's in the business of getting championships and building champions. He doesn't like quitters, he doesn't like complainers, but the most important thing is that you get the job done. This book's mostly about sports, but it talks about how there's a certain breed of person in every single aspect of life who is relentless and will stop at nothing to become the best at whatever it is they do. The word relentless is used to describe the most intense competitors and achievers imaginable. Those who stop at nothing to get the end result. In sports, being relentless is measured in championships and trophies and rings. In real life, being relentless is a state of mind that can be used to achieve, to survive, to overcome, to be strong when others are not. In this book, there's coolers, there's closers, and there's cleaners. Coolers are good, closers are great, but cleaners are unstoppable. This book also covers how if you're going to be relentless, you're going to have to go to a dark place. And it talks about how these high achievers in life, they're like the best at one thing, but the rest of their life is often in shambles because they put so much mental energy into achieving this one thing. So find pain inside of yourself to motivate you. Make up an argument that you had with someone, make up a confrontation with someone else to use that as fuel and trick yourself into sort of hating that person so that you can just push yourself just that much harder. Timothy Grover in this book discusses all of the ways cleaners operate, from taking responsibility for everything, not looking for shortcuts, pushing yourself relentlessly. Tim Grover gives you a blueprint to the mindset to achieve greatness. He doesn't give you the blueprint of what to do, but the mindset that you need to adopt. So that's it. These are the 4 books that you need to reread over and over again in your life. Whatever you kind of dream of, you can achieve it with the mindsets that are given to you in these books. A lot of these books are just covering mindsets and different ways to look at the world. It's not so much here's what to do, but it's universal principles that are in all of these books and can be applied to any number of different endeavors. So whatever field you're in, these books can help you. Whether you're in business, whether you're in art, whether you are a philosopher, whether you are in sports, read these books, read them again, and your life will change for the better. I hope this video helps you achieve whatever you want in life. I hope you have some good insights on what is included with these books, and I really hope that you read them and reread them and learn everything you can, because in these books there is the solution to whatever problem you're having. It will inspire you to take action. It will inspire you to take responsibility, and these books will help change your life. Let me know in the comments what kind of stuff you like to read over and over again. If there's any books you think I've missed, if you've read these and you love them, let me know about that as well. If this video is helpful for you and you like the books that I cover here, feel free to subscribe, because I'm going to be talking about books, self-development, building confidence all the time. Sometimes they're animated, sometimes it's just me sitting in my living room in Eastern Europe. And I hope that you have a wonderful day.